In the summer of 1845, 129 men sailed into the Arctic to conquer the final unexplored stretch of the Northwest Passage. None of them would ever return home. The Royal Navy entrusted this mission to two highly advanced vessels, HMS Erebus and HMS Terror. Back home in Britain, the public expected a swift triumph. The crews were sent off with fanfare, under the assumption they would chart the passage and return as heroes. That initial confidence was backed entirely by advanced engineering. These hulls were reinforced with thick iron plating, specifically designed to withstand the grinding force of the Arctic pack ice. Below the decks, they carried internal steam engines. This auxiliary power meant the ships could continue pushing through the ice, even when the Arctic winds failed. This was a heavily funded, technologically supreme operation. With years of provisions and state-of-the-art machinery, the mission appeared resilient against any foreseeable failure. This map shows the expedition's early progress. Whaling vessels operating in Baffin Bay provided the last confirmed sighting of the fleet by the outside world. The reports sent back from those whalers were positive. The ships were performing flawlessly, and the crew remained in good health. Soon after, Franklin ordered the ships out of the whaling waters and into an unexplored labyrinth of islands and shifting ice. By leaving the charted routes behind them, the men moved entirely past the reach of any rescue or communication. They were pitting 19th century engineering against an unyielding environment. As the ships pushed further north, the brief Arctic summer collapsed. Temperatures dropped, and the long polar winter set in. In these latitudes, winter brings total darkness. The sun remains below the horizon for weeks, leaving the landscape in a frozen, perpetual twilight. Without sunlight, the ocean around the ships transformed. The water solidified into a single, massive sheet of ice that locked the hulls in place. Being frozen in place was a standard phase of polar exploration. The officers and crew expected to spend at least one season stationary. They had heavy wooden walls for insulation and enough salted meat and canned goods to last for years. The plan was to wait for the spring thaw to release the ships. This routine entrapment masked a dangerous reality. Their survival now rested entirely on a seasonal cycle they could not influence. Eventually, the calendar indicated that spring had arrived. The crew waited for the temperatures to rise and the ice to fracture. But the ice did not yield. Weeks passed, then months, and the frozen expanse around the ships remained unchanged. Every passing day consumed more of their finite coal and rations, while the ships sat locked exactly where winter had found them. 129 men lived within these tilted wooden walls, surrounded by miles of jagged pack ice. No rescue ship could reach them, and no message could be sent home. The failure of the summer thaw turned a routine winter layover into a permanent entrapment. The environment had locked the ships into a static, white wilderness. Back in Britain, the initial confidence slowly faded as months turned into years without a single update. The Admiralty initially assumed the expedition was simply delayed, caught in the unpredictable conditions of the high north. But the ships had fallen silent. No complete records survived the cold. The logs and personal journals of 129 men were lost to the Arctic. Nature claimed the lives of the crew and then systematically erased their final experiences from history. Our understanding of their fate is built on specific items discovered in the permafrost decades after the ships vanished. Search parties eventually reached the coast of King William Island. It was here that the physical remains of the crew began to surface. The evidence found at this site points to a struggle that the frozen logs never could have recorded. Once the men abandoned the ships, they entered a final phase of survival on foot. The disaster in the ice was the preface. The events that followed the march south are still being pulled from the Arctic soil today.